Hey everybody, it's Brooke here from Large Family Homestead, and today I'm going to take you guys around and give you guys like some updates on what we're doing with the garden. I'm going to try and keep this as casual as possible. We have been doing a lot of work, trying to stay caught up with everything that needs to be done. It's a very busy season. We have, the bees have become more active. My brother's trying to get them ready to do splits. We are putting up a new pasture for the cows, which we've been actively working on a lot recently. We have this, greenhouse we've been trying to upkeep. It's planting season. There's a lot going on. Trees need pruned, vines need pruned, bushes need pruned, everything needed pruned. So for anyone that doesn't know, we are in Northeast Texas, Garden Zone 8B. We have chickens, turkeys, ducks, geese, cows, honeybees, and a very, very, very big garden. So let me take you guys around and show you what we've been doing this month in April. So first up, the greenhouse. This is our 20 by 10 by 7 greenhouse. I told you guys before, we have 3 greenhouses. This is just the only one that is actively being upkept and worked on right now, and I'll show you guys why as we get further into the video. But the zinnias that actually volunteered in here are getting ready to bloom. See? Pretty girl right there. So those are getting ready to bloom. The lettuce, I pretty much pulled all of it out on my last harvest. I left a few in here, the ones that were bolting, because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to collect seed from them. So I'll go ahead, I'll collect seed, and then we'll replant. There's some small volunteer lettuce starting. I'll leave that and harvest it once it gets bigger. But the rest of the stuff that's bolting, I'm leaving for seed. And then in this bed here, we got the Swiss chard. This Swiss chard seems to sadden when it gets hot in the afternoon, which is fine. It perks back up. And then we also have melons and everything, so I'll send one of the boys down here to water. And then we also have beans starting over there. Outside of this greenhouse, we've got our second greenhouse, which is still technically, actually, this is our third greenhouse. This is the second greenhouse. This is the third greenhouse. This one is still in the box. Yes, I know. I keep telling you guys we're going to set it up. We are going to set it up. We will get there eventually. It's supposed to be set up right back there. So you guys see where that's cleared right there? Right back there is where we're supposed to be setting it up. And then, so it's going to be, see there, our plum tree right there? That's our plum tree, which desperately needs pruned as well. And we're going to set it up so that the plum tree is in between the 2 greenhouses. This is a different greenhouse than this one. So this one's a 20 by 10 by 7 from Vivor, and that one is 27 foot, and it has like a different style frame to it. So it is a tunnel like this one is, but it has like an actual like door frame. So I don't know if you guys see on this one, but this one has like just these zippered walls on it that you use for doors. This one has like an actual like door frame and everything. I got them to actually compare them, so once we get around to that, we will do a little comparison on those two. I do also need to clear all of this. This is ragweed. But honestly, I need to order myself some new garden sleeves first, because ragweed seriously irritates my skin. So either I have to get someone else to clear it, or I need to get myself some new garden sleeves to clear it, because I can't find mine from last year. I like to use the sleeves from Farmer's Defense. They hold up really, really nicely. And they help for a lot of things because I have a lot of skin sensitivity. So it really is nice for when I'm working in the garden. They're also just honestly nice to wear over summer because they stay like cool, unlike other long sleeves, which is nice. And then this is a garden bed that I'm going to be putting in that new greenhouse once we get it set up. So that's why it's just been sitting out here. Because at first I was going to put it in that one, but with the 2 doors there's not enough room. So we're going to put that one in the new one. Also got to clear up everything on this side as well. And then this is where the new cow pasture is going. So I know everyone's excited about that, because the cows right now, I don't know if you guys can see, that's the beginning of their fence. And it runs all the way down to the back of our property. And then widthwise, it runs all the way to that tree line. Okay, so right up against our neighbors over there. And then it runs all the way back here. There's a road that runs back here. It runs all the way to that. So they have a lot of space now, but we want more space because we are planning on eventually adding more cattle. So pretty much the new fence is going to run all the way from there, all the way to here, all the way down to the road and back across. So they're already done the back. That's complete. Right now, they were digging holes for these posts. I think they're done with that. I think. I'm not 100% sure. And then the idea is that we just got, we borrowed a T-post hammer from a friend that we're going to use to get all the T-posts in, because normally we use those ones that like go over the T-posts and has 2 handles on it and you do it all manually. Many of us have hurt ourselves using those. So we went ahead and borrowed one that's supposed to make that job a little bit easier, hopefully. So yes, the quail house will be in the cow pasture, which is fine. They'll be fine with that. And then the shed will be right up against the front of the pasture. And the new gate, there'll be another gate right there next to the shed. So the shed stores all of the feed for the cows and some of the birds. It doesn't store the feed for all the birds, but some of the birds. And then all their minerals and their alfalfa hay and that kind of stuff. And then their rolls of hay are back there. So this will work. The setup will be really, really nice, I think. And then the cows will get to hang out with me while I'm in the greenhouse. We know they already stand up there and moo at me when I'm down here. So that should be very fun for sure. Otherwise, what's going on with our garden so far, so like we have all the onions and stuff planted. We need to weed around here really bad. Like, you guys don't even realize, unless you live in Texas, you have no idea how fast this stuff grows up. Like, this was all clear. This was all clear like less than a week ago. And it's up to my knees. I mean, I know that I'm short, so that's not saying much, but still, come on now. It's absolutely crazy how fast the grass and stuff grows here as soon as it gets warm. So we have onions planted. We had a lot of volunteer zinnias. We've got like some greens, some lettuce. I think my brother started some radishes, possibly. We didn't really do a lot of brassicas this year. We had a really, really short spring, I'm going to be honest. We had a really short spring. Here's my chickies. Hi, chickies. We got a lot of rain the last couple days too. Back here's our elderberry. Honestly, I don't even prune the elderberry. Normally it's just fine, you know. Here's another bed of onions that we have. So pretty much what they're working on right now, we need to weed around the onions again, go figure. But pretty much we're going to be planting, there's a blackberry bush there, and we're going to be planting all the way down to the blackberry bush, and then again past the blackberry bush. And all this needs to be weed eated. We have a path here, but you know, the grass and the ragweed. Grass and ragweed here, it just likes to grow. And then there's a bunch of trees and stuff back there as well. I don't want to get in too much into here because we do have snakes. I don't know if there is snakes in there, but we're not going to take any chances. That back there is my first greenhouse. That is a 15 by 7 greenhouse. The cover ripped on it late last year. So completely, like it was more duct tape than grass to begin with, or more duct tape than cover to begin with. Now it's completely done, so I have to figure out, the frame is still good, so I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do about a cover for that, or do I just want to get shade cloth for that and make it into, like, you know, a tent for summer. And you guys give me your feedback on that, guys. Feedback, I'd love it. And then the blackberry bushes are in full swing. Oh, look, she's a honeybee. She's so pretty. Hi, pretty girl. Look at you going to town on those flowers. But yeah, the berries are coming in. This one is always a very, very high producer. There's one there, and then there's 2 here. And then there's also, you know, a bunch of babies plants that they like to make. So you can actually dig up those little baby plants and you can pot them up and move them for next year if you want, or you can just leave them there. Sort of up to whatever you want to do with yours. But these things always push out a ton of berries every year, which is really nice. There's a tiny tree there that needs to get taken out. That would be nice. So this here, if I'm correct, is nutgrass. We have nutgrass. It looks like we have Bermuda. It looks like we have that really invasive melony looking plant. And then we have ragweed going, this is all like invasive Texas stuff, everybody. This is Texas. This is living in Texas. So I walked all the way over to the cows because I wanted to show you guys some things over here. There's the geese. The geese just had 2 babies, by the way. They're absolutely adorable. They're adorable babies. The geese don't know that they're parents yet, so we're trying to, you know, it's a big old secret. They'll be surprised when we come over here with 2 almost full-size geese, because that's when we normally bring them over here. Because this fence, you know, it's cow fence. It's not predator-proof for geese, so we try to only bring them over once they're big enough to, you know, integrate and also hopefully protect themselves somewhat. But I'm excited about that. We also have 3 baby ducks. which we're also very excited about. So there's the beehive, very, very active, as you guys can see. They don't even have feeders out and they're active. And then I believe my brother planted a bunch of stuff back here. Possibly. I know he was working on that bed. He has like, he wants to do a whole bunch of like peppers and stuff. So he already started Carolina Reapers. And then he has zinnias back here that he started for the bees, which is super, super awesome. And then my brother planted corn back here. My other brother, not the one that did the zinnias and the bees. But my one brother planted corn back here. So, oh, I don't think that's it. These are it. I was going to say, that one has a lot of grass growing out of it. So if you guys can see, corn. And he does them like in hills. Oh, look, they're coming up. I think that's it right there. So he does corn in hills. And you do them this way to increase pollination. Okay, so when you guys want to increase pollination with certain plants, like corn, melon, squash, that kind of stuff, you guys can plant them in what's called hills. It's like a planting method, specific planting method. So you do not need a huge field to do corn. If you do it in hills properly, you can actually do it. You can even do it in actually containers like that, if your containers are big enough. So if you guys are in a small space and if you wanted to plant corn or popcorn, look into that. So my brother's hoping to use this whole area for beds eventually. I mean, he'll eventually get there. I'm not sure if he will get there this year with that, but he's going to eventually get there. So, oh, here come the ducks. They're coming for me. They think I'm feeding them or something. Later, babies. Later. I don't know. We have 4 geese. I don't know where the 4th one is right now. Maybe she's laying another egg. But yeah, geese are super fun to keep, guys. Highly recommend, as long as you're not too scared of them. There are ways that you can help with the aggression. I promise. I haven't gotten bit, if that means anything. I'm not going to say that no one has. Hi, goose. Hi, buddy. What's up? Oh, yeah, hiss at me. So there's Gandy. He's the head gander. And then this is Ryan. Hi, buddy. And we have 2 females. Oh, knock it off. Knock it off. They honk for no reason. If you ever thought ducks were loud, get geese. Okay? Get geese and don't complain to me about how loud ducks are. If you guys planted onions this year, you might see that your onions start doing this, where they start bulbing and they start pushing themselves out of the soil. Let them. Okay? If you guys want your bulbs to get nice and big, your bulbs have to be exposed to sunlight. Okay? Because a lot of people, what they do, especially first-time onion growers, is they'll come through and they'll see that they're doing this, and they will cover them with soil or mulch. That is not what you want to do. You also, when this starts happening, want to slow down on the nitrogen fertilizers, because nitrogen fertilizers support green growth, and we're also not looking to do any more of that. Okay? They have plenty of green growth. They're trying to make their bulbs nice and big now. Trust me, I have had some monstrous sized onions. We grow tons and tons and tons of onions. We have grown all of our onions for every year now for quite a few years. Okay, we have, I would have to say, I mean, I grow the same variety every year, but I will say that I think we've gotten it pretty down with the onions. Grapes are putting on flower buds. Aren't they gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. They are putting on a ton of those. Those things are everywhere. It is awesome. I also still more volunteer zinnias right there. If anyone tells me that they can't grow roses, I tell them to grow knockout roses. They're gorgeous. They should bloom pretty much spring through fall. They'll have like cycles, right? So that they bloom, then the blooms, die, then they bloom again, and then so they sort of have they're blooming, and then there's no blooms on them, and then they bloom, right? But they'll get like hundreds of blooms on it at one time. It's gorgeous. I think mine are double red knockouts, I think, if I'm correct. And these are really easy. They practically require no care, at least where I am. I mean, you should prune them down. You don't have to, but you should. They do not have any scent to them like a lot of other roses do, so just keep that in mind. But they are very, very easy to do, and they provide some nice, nice color. My brother moved some zinnias out here and peppers there. So these are out front of our house. So these are his show beds, because he builds and sells these every year. So these are his show beds that he does every year. So he'll put, you know, he'll normally try and put something nice in the beds to like sort of showcase how they can be used. So he did zinnias in this one this year and peppers in that one. We did melons and sweet potatoes last year. Bad idea. Such a bad idea. Not that the beds weren't good for it, because they were, but they would grow out and then we couldn't weed eat around here, which made everything just look messy. So the plants did great, but they looked really messy because of that. So he's like, you know what? I'm putting something that stays inside the bed this time. I was like, you sure about the zinnias? But he's like, no, I'm sure about the zinnias. And then the Bailey got the herb garden all cleaned up. So this is Tansy. If anyone's wondering, this is Comfrey. And then she mulched. There's a random shoe. She mulched and weeded out the bed. Oregano, peppermint over here. The peppermint is coming up outside the bed again, of course. But the oregano is also, ooh, she's pretty. We probably will maybe get echinacea to come up. It comes up every year. It's possible something happened to it this year. I mean, we've had echinacea in this bed since we started this bed, and it always comes up on its own every year. I always think this, and then like 2 weeks later, it'll pop up. So we'll have to wait and see. We also normally get feverfew. Normally it reed seeds itself, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. She will put a bunch of starts and seeds in here, though. So she'll start working on that now that she's gotten it all cleaned up. And she got the fencing fixed and everything. So it's good to go. And we got our little Texas stone prop back up. Real nice and pretty. Very excited about that. So feel free to let me know in the comments what projects are you all working on right now with your gardens and homesteads. Please give this video a thumbs up, especially if you made it to the end. And don't forget to click that subscribe button if you guys are new. Thanks y'all for watching.